So you said that 2% of venture capital goes to women, and everyone knows that stat. But what people don't pay attention to, and I think is actually a more important stat, is 2% of women hit $1 million in revenue. Only 2%. That's wild to me.
2% of the 2%? Or like 2% of just any women?
Separate statistics.
Okay.
Only 2% of women-led business. There's 14 million women-led businesses in the US. Only 2% of them hit $1 million in revenue. Okay. That to me is actually a more important stat than the 2% of venture capital, which obviously is very important, but only 0.5% of businesses are venture backed. So what I like to focus on and why I started Thayana was prior to that, I had an accelerator that taught women how to build product, how to be like own their own business and what they're trying to create rather than diluting themselves, bringing on a CTO or a co-founder to build it for them. I wanted to empower women to be their own expert, to actually understand how technology worked. And when I created this accelerator, what I learned was that women were diluting themselves. They were spending tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars on bringing someone outside in to own the product vision, which I think in general, if you're going to be successful in leading a tech company, you have to know the product better than anyone.
100%.
And for me, I outsource, but I do all the product requirements. I do all the design. I'm making all the strategic decisions. You need to do that in order to be successful because you'll see things ahead of the time, right? So back to why I started Thayana was when I created this accelerator, it happened to perform really well. I had women actually launch, earn their first paying customers, get insane partnerships, win pitch competitions. And small plug, today I'm actually investing $5,000 of my own cash into my first pitch competition for 5 women that reached finalists from that accelerator. That's happening literally today, which is full circle moment. But what I found was that women needed more, not just from product, they needed more direction on how to build a business. So the business fundamentals, and of course I support women building tech startups. So lots of product in there, lots of ICP, all the standard talk, user experience, all the things. But the fundamentals need to be learned if you're going to do anything successful. So the 2% of venture capital, in my eyes, that's a byproduct of building a successful business from the ground up. And I wanted to focus on that. So I call that the access gap. And if we are able to close that access gap, I really believe that we'll be able to hit 2% of women reaching further in million-led businesses, and then more than 2% hitting, getting venture capital. Because if you prove that you can do it and not just have an idea, a paper napkin idea that Silicon Valley, you just write it on a napkin, I'll fund you. That doesn't happen for us. We're not welcome into those rooms. I believe that if you build that strong business, generate revenue, prove it, optionality will just become available.
So